Good morning, Bankbridge students. Now, what is the first thing you do whenever you walk into a shop? You put your safety glasses on. Very important. Always wear your safety glasses whenever you're in a shop. Anyway, I ran into John Rojas at a pizza parlor the other day, and he told me to tell everybody hi. Everybody knows John. What a nice man he is. So last week we made bench hooks and a push stick. I'm going to sand this up. Take a nice piece of sandpaper, brand new. Fold it back and forth a couple times. And you tear these sheets into four so you can always use them on your sander, your electric hand sander. This here is a block of wood. It's just a sanding block. And I'm going to hold this here nice and tight, and I'm going to sand these putties. I told you last time it takes a few days, a day or so for this to dry. So we sand it up. Here's the wood dowels. And that's it. Nice and smooth. That's that. Over here is a sawhorse. We're going to do a two-part video making a carpenter's sawhorse. This sawhorse has a lot of nice stuff to show you. There's a little tray here to put your tools when you're working. There's a fine example of pattern nailing. You got a 5, a 3, a 2 here. And here is a fancy wood joint. As you can see, it's angled out this way and that way. It's a compound dado joint, and it can only be cut by hand. That's one sawhorse. When you make these, you normally make them in a pair. But I made this ahead of time to show you the project that we're making. It's easier to visualize something when you see it while I'm making it. This here is well over 100 years old. This is a sawhorse my great-grandfather made. And if you look at it, it has the same angle here. It has the compound dado, leg going out, leg going this way. That gives it support when you lean on it. The problem with these are that they're so low. They're great for sawing because you can get your knee on it and a good grip, but for staining or painting or sanding, after a while it starts hurting your back. So I'm going to make myself a brand new set of these. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show you how to lay out and cut this first joint. Let's get started. Over here I have a 2x6. A 2x6. It's 32 inches long. And I'm going to use the print. I'm going to go back to the print. I want you to come in 4 inches. I have my combination square set up 4 inches. I come in 4 inches. Now I'm going to cheat. I have a little chunk of the leg. The print wanted it 3.5. I cut them 3 to cut down on the weight of the sawhorse. A 1/2 inch, no one will know. So I'm just cheating here. I'm cheating a little bit by using a 3-inch block. This is the exact size of the legs for the sawhorse. That is the top layout. They want you to come in 3/4 of an inch on the top. Right here. 3/4 of an inch. That lines right up. So I take this. This is a fancy little tool here. This is a marking gauge. It represents the end of a 2x4. Out my 3/4 of an inch on top. Underneath, they want 3/8 of an inch. But before we do that, I want to show you about this framing square here. The print says we want a 424. I put my finger on the 4 and 24. I put it here, and as a kid I always wondered what these were. So I'm sliding this over. It's 424, that's the angle. I take a pencil and I strike it on my bench. This angle is a 424, and that is the angle of my legs coming down. Sliding T-bevel. I can pick the 424 angle right off of my bench now, and if I lose it or if I hit this and it moves, I can always come back and reset it because I have it on the line on the bench. So we're going to come over here. Here's my initial layout. I lock it here, come down, and I lock it here, just like that. This is my 3/4 of an inch. This is 3 inches here to here, 4 inches here. Here's my fancy angle, and I need 3/8 of an inch on the bottom of this. So I'm going to go back to my combination square. And I'm going to put it, here's my layout, right here. I can do this. Now my layout's complete. This gets cut, this gets cut, and those angles get cut. So to save time, so I don't sit here sawing, I already cut 3 of the joints. I have this laid out, and I'm going to cut it out and show you what to do next. I'll lock this in. Now these two, you have to follow the line. After that, it doesn't matter for my relief cuts. So, I am going to saw down to this line, and I'm going to saw down to that line. Started. There she goes. Nice. It's a natural drop. Let that thing glide. Now, there are my 2 joints. Very important to cut them right. These are relief cuts. I normally put 3 or so in there. Good. Take it out. And we're going to follow the line. And I'm going to put this on that same angle and see how this goes. Nice. Just like that. Follow that line. There she goes. Boy, that worked out. That out just a little bit. Okay, so there's one. That is how you do that. You can see it's cut in, it's cut and turned that way. Here's some legs. I'm going to peel these legs off here. I need 4 of these. Yes, that's exactly. You see that thing laying in there? That is perfect. So I'm going to take my pencil, and this will help me because it's always on this angle. It's pretty tricky. There's that. Remember pattern nailing. Okay, nice and even here. That's it. That is the first step. Let's see. Hey, that's sitting pretty good. Now we're going to cut some plywood and nail it on the ends. Now I'm going to take this 1/2 inch plywood, finished one side, and I'm going to cut it down to 12 and a half wide by 13 long. Remember, double check your blade. That's a little high. Down I go. Down, down, down. 12 and a half. 12 and a half by 13. So we're going to find the middle here. I set my marking gauge at 2 3/4. I'm going to come in. I don't know if that's right. Let's try it though. 2 3/4. Oh, it's pretty close. By 2 3/4. And I am going to find that exact center there. The visual center. There. And I'm going to mark it at both ends. There. And here. Now we're going to put our two pretty sides out. I lock it in, nice and easy. Make sure we're square. I have finish nails right here. All I want to do is hold these temporary until I cut them. Okay. I'm going to find this. This was 12 and a half. 12 and a half this way. That gives me 6 1/4. Go to my combo. There's a quarter. 6 1/4. And I can double check. Here is that. So I'm bringing this here. I need to bring this out a little more. Just like this. There it is. See this right on there. Now you can see that one is cocked in a little bit, and so I'm going to bring this leg in just like this the whole time, making sure that I'm squeezing down. That's that. I'm going to do it on this side. Same thing. Lock this in the middle. Make sure there. Move this one over. And I want to move this one out. Not everything goes as planned, but this is this. And I'm going to strike a line here. We're going to come over to the chop saw. Now I've cut the plywood on the chop saw, and I want to make sure that these two pieces are mirror image. So I'm holding them this way. I'm going to put an X here and an X here. And when I install these, I'm making sure that the X is in. I'm all ready to go. And let's see what we have to do. This thing has to move over a little bit. So I'm going to start a nail. We have, these were 8s, these are 6s. These are 6s. And I'll get a nail here. You want to get into 3/4 inches. You can see 3/4. Just get us started because I'm going to have to muscle this a little bit. Always checking to make sure that nail doesn't pop through. Last one. There you go. Good. That's sitting pretty already. Here we are, students. We're all ready to go. And it's already sitting pretty because we did everything the right way. Mirror image, pattern nailing. That's it for today. Next week when we come back, we'll finish this. I'll see you next week in the shop.